Hello, hi God. Okay, I need your help with this one. I know. I need to do better next time, right? Anyway, leo niko na mob ya kukushow. Welcome to the first episode of Life Reframe Podcast, and I am your host Njumbi, aka Jamarian. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, guys, we are finally here, and I cannot begin to emphasize on how elated, how stoked I am to be here. It has been a long time coming. For those who know me closely, they know how long I am speaking about, and it has been a struggle and challenge to just even start this, So I'm so grateful that you guys are among my first listeners, and I cannot wait to take you through this journey and let us see how far we're going to blossom and how far we're going to get and how far we're going to grow, Life is about changes, it's about taking risks and also trying out the things that we are passionate about and have been dying to do for a very long time. So, before I get even into what the podcast is about, I just want to say thanks to God because I could not have done it without His strength to have gotten me to this space, to be able to even speak out the words that I'm going to speak out in this particular podcast. And I know that this is not just one of those you wake up, you just want to do because it's going to give you some networking or anything. It's something that I've been passionate to do since I was a very young girl. So I'm excited to practice this actually. And it's just the power of words. Unajua, I said this like 2 years ago, how much I'd want to do a podcast, nini. But it's only 2 years later that I actually got to do it. And some of the reasons I would just feel like I don't know what to do is because sometimes you feel like there's so much content out there and there are people who are doing it so much better. And you wonder, sasa nikileta content yangu, who is going to listen to me and of what value am I going to be adding to their lives? And for me, that I am very key to, because I hate redundant data or information. I hate to do things that people have already done. Even if I'm going to do the same thing, I just want to have a kind of uniqueness or difference that I'm going to be impacting to different people. And I know that's also very hard to ask of the world because everyone, we share, all of us, the same abilities at some point in time. So this was very hard to do, trust you me. And before I even delve into the podcast, Junona nimeshaanza heading there, I just wanted to let you know what the podcast is going to be all about. I wanted us to make this podcast as fun as possible because the topics that we are going to be discussing are supposed to be fun topics. Nothing about this life is supposed to be that damn serious. I think we take life a bit too seriously, and mostly it's about God. I am in this journey of getting to know God and getting to understand His love for me and what He wants for me in my purpose and all of that. And I just came to realize, I think we were sold a very different narrative about God, because He is not this guy with beards waiting for us from above, looking at us, waiting to judge us and punish us and send us to hell. I got to understand a way deeper level of who God is and why He says we don't do some things, and not for His goodness, but for His good, but for our good, And when I started understanding that God is this beautiful, warm, homely spirit, I just wanted to share with you guys what I'm experiencing, so that if you guys are going through the same thing, then we can have a platform to be able to share and have it in common that we are experiencing the same things. Penye ninaenda wrong, you guys are welcome to, correct me, but with a lot of love. I know the internet can get really messy, but correct me with love, and let's just make this space a positive space for everyone to feel comfortable to sharing their experiences and also growing from them as well. So God is a topic that we are going to be delving in our conversations. It's not going to be like a Bible study kind of thing, but in the conversations that we'll be speaking, we'll be trying to understand, and what did God want for us to do in this particular space. We shall be speaking about the inevitable love and life experiences, because we are living in a world and we get to experience so much of good things, of bad things, of hurtful things, of things that we are very grateful for. So why not share with the world and the upcoming youngings so that they get to understand life according to our experiences, according to what we've gone through, and that way it will make them better at everything, at the things that they're going to do, or rather, even if they're not going to be perfect, they're going to try and do better than we did. So that is major. That is a major. There is no way you will have a podcast and not have about life and love experiences. And most of all, we are also going to speak about mental health. I am an advocate, I am a student, and I am looking forward to be a fully fledged counselor in psychological counseling. And mental health is a passionate area of mine where I just would wish that people took it as easy as going to have breakfast or visiting a friend. You know how easy you do those things? I wish it would be so easy for us to take care of our mental state and be able to know what are we allowing in our minds, because all these things that we get to feed our mind, we become. And today I was just thinking, what can I speak to these people about? Like nini nimewekea kando that will make them feel different, or maybe just add up a little spice, because it's the first episode. I'm still shy. Don't judge me. I don't know what to say, but we're going to get there with time. I just wanted to speak about uncertainty and how much it can cost you in your life by not just being able to dare, by not being able to take that risk or take that chance just because you are uncertain. And I feel like mostly in our lives, we want to be so certain over something so that's until then is when we are able to do something about it. Until you're certain about something and the end result and all the repercussions and the risks that you're taking for that thing to come to play, until then, that's the only time that someone feels comfortable to take a risk. And you see, uncertainty can really lock you out from very many opportunities, because it comes also with its brothers and cousins that are so negative vibes, yeah? So before even we start saying about uncertainty, we don't even know the meaning of uncertainty. So I thought to myself, let me just check it up in the Google and let's go together. So uncertainty is lack of sureness about someone or something. And I can imagine someone being in that state of not being sure of something or someone. You have so many doubts, you want so much to be clarified upon, and over time, if you dwell there, it turns out to be something else. And this something else is what I want us to speak about. Juu hapo ndio nilikuwa, unajua? So when you are uncertain, you are looking for answers to the questions of what ifs and why, and what is the cause of. And the moment you're not able to get those things and you delve in that and not take the risk, now what starts getting created is procrastination, because you are procrastinating to doing something because you are uncertain. Like, wacha nita research kesho and then I'll start the podcast next week, Acha nita research this week yote and then next week Monday, in fact nitaanza. In fact, wacha hii wiki juu ishafika Friday, I'll not go to the gym. I'll go from next week on Monday. We are told never to miss a Monday. I will go to the gym next week. And you just end up realizing it's because you don't have the answers to that which you're seeking clarity of that is making you procrastinate. Yani, this is something you could have done immediately and just find the results at that time. But then you choose to want to delay it because you're looking for these answers. And most people who are perfectionists suffer from this. I being part of that. I want something that is perfect, that is great, that is going to be good, taken in, accepted, loved, cherished. And so when I imagine that there are things that in this what I want to put out is not going to be perfect, cherished, loved, and well received, it holds me back from unleashing my full potential or releasing whatever I just have because it's at my best, whatever I'm doing, because I'm already questioning. So ninaanza procrastinate. You wait, and it's a year, it's 2 years, it's 3 years, 5 years, before you left that toxic relationship. You're procrastinating before you left that toxic job. You're procrastinating before you started that business. Just because uko uncertain. Can you imagine? Imagine this is all from just the fact that you could not decide whether to do it or not. Just that. It has now taken us to a cycle of not even entirely wanting to do it because unaipush, and you realize you can only do it unless it is like a life and death. Tuseme ka assignments. You have a whole semester to doing your assignments. But then you want to ngangana within the last week of the deadline and you just feel so pressured, overwhelmed. And that's when you feel like you can research, you can clock in extra hours. Yes, I am a victim of that. Msidanganywe, msidanganyike. I am a victim of that and I am really, really trying so hard. Kwanza ikikuja kwa story ya masomo. Just pushing all these things far away so that you can do them later, only to realize you're pushing yourself away from the goal. Yani, ungeanza hiki tu kitambo uendele ukilani in the job, but you just feel like it's too much to do right now. You still want answers to this. So you find that all this starts off from a trigger point whereby, there is something that you ought to do, but there's just something uncomfortable about doing it. Like either you don't have funds or will I make it? Will this happen? Will this do this? So when you know that there is something that needs to be done at that time and you still don't do it, that's procrastination. And then you find most of the time you have this kind of rigid thinking whereby you just feel like I can only start this business when I get like 100,000. Bila 100,000 ni ngumu sana kuanza busy Kenya. Bila kukuwa na tools zote za kushona, ni ngumu sana kuanza kushona hii Kenya. And you just want to put rigid demands, like it's only unless if this and this is given to me that I'll be able to perform a certain task. And to be quite honest, tujichunguze vizuri, it's almost like a lie, because even when you get those things and your mind is not set, you're still gonna find more reasons as to why you still can't do that which you have been promising yourself to want to do. And it's so crazy because we put these things inside ourselves. We also have this thing for like awfulizing, like making something feel awful, and you just like, hata nikianza hii podcast itakuwa too terrible, people are not gonna listen to me, what do I even have to say to these people? It's not even gonna go far, maybe even I'll stop it at. And you start having all these awful thoughts about the thing that you want to do. Hata nikienda ninunue hii kitu hata itakuwa poa. You say awful things, and those are the things. Imagine whatever we tell our minds, we become. So if you keep telling your mind how awful whatever you're doing is, it just ends up accepting that it's awful, that it's bad, that it's not gonna work, that it's terrible, that you're wasting your time. And it can only do your brain bad because your brain is going to accept everything that you're telling it. It cannot differentiate and tell yourself. If you tell yourself that you're not going to drink, you're not going to drink. But if you go telling yourself that you're not going to drink, but inside you want to still drink, it will listen to that inner voice. So those awful thoughts get sunk into your unconscious, and over time you realize you are becoming something that you are not or have never been born as, You also find that you get all these negative self-beliefs of like, I can't do anything right. I'm not even the kind of person who can do this well. I'm so stupid. What is even good? What good can even come out of my mouth? And also the discomfort, intolerance of like, when you're complaining to people about the negative emotions, or you keep telling yourself that it is the stress that you're going through that is preventing you from achieving a certain goal, that there's no way you can work when you're that anxious. All these things are things you're telling yourself. And again, all these things get stored into our unconscious, and over time, we don't realize that even the two smallest things of mi hata siwezangi kufanya hii, mi hata sijui kufanya hii, ends up being us. So you find that, procrastination, ikiwa na all of that happening, there is almost no way that you're going to be able to do it. And so after you've procrastinated it for a long time and having all these excuses, something else develops, and that's the imposter syndrome. Guys, I'm telling you something. If there's something that can kill you, is imposter syndrome. And I don't know why people don't make these things like actual diseases, like vile you can gonjeka homa and it is taken in as seriously, because imposter syndrome, let me check out in the dictionary. Imposter syndrome is described as self-doubt of intellect, skills, or accomplishments among high-achieving individuals. Okay, you get me? Nakwambia hii kitu inaweza kumaliza, because first of all, you're going to start thinking you are not even the person who is worthy of that. You're not the person worthy of being able to achieve certain things or get to certain levels of life. So when you've already, and you feel like so-and-so does it way better than you could do it. You feel like so-and-so has more skill set than you have. So-and-so has more resources than you do. So you keep feeling like you're not the person meant for that job and someone else is. Can you see how entangled we're getting? Like, tulitoka tu kwa ile decision ya, should I take this job or not? Should I be in this relationship or not? Which is a healthy relationship or a toxic one? Should I do this? And from just being unable to make that decision from up there, it has taken us to procrastinating. But wacha tungoje tuone venye, maybe he will change, maybe this job will change, maybe I'll get that promotion, and then now you've gotten yourself into another loop of imposter syndrome of feeling, no, because you've delayed it for such a long time, you start feeling like, maybe si yangu, maybe this is meant for someone else, maybe I'm just not meant to be for that job. And when you're there, you're almost just at the edge of giving up that one thing that could have probably been your dream, by getting yourself into now the self-sabotage. Oof. And I'll go again to my dictionary so that I say things that are actually there. Nisikuwe hapa hivi na wadanganya about things. And so what is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is when people do or don't do things that block their success or prevent them from accomplishing their goals. And guys, do you know how harmful that is? Like, we're out here thinking people are out here to do us bad, but you doing that to yourself is so bad. Like, would you even do the same things to someone else? And I just wanted to give like 9 ways of how you can self-sabotage. One is either through procrastination, as we've mentioned, self-objectification, impatience, self-neglect, self-criticism, perfectionism, resistance to change, and distrust. Guys, can you imagine? Umekosa kujiaminia to that level. Like, would you even say all those things, or would you want to do those things to someone else? I think that's why you're told, maybe in therapy, or people keep telling you, if you can tell someone else the same things that you tell yourself, then uko sawa. But then if you can't tell other people the things you tell yourself, that ni mbana mimi, kichwa yangu kwani imejaa maji, what is wrong with me? You keep talking bad things about yourself and you can't tell the same things to your friends. Life is not waiting for you to be able to get your things together and so that it can take you on. that guy who has been kateaing you for the longest, but you still felt like, lakini na vile ni mfupi, watu watasemaje? He went, ashachukuliwa na msichana mwingine and he's enjoying his best life. That job you're like, lakini hata nitaweza kutuma hizo reports, mi hata sijaiandika report. Well, Shiro has already gotten the job. It's all a matter of taking the risk. But then, now for me, I came to realize all these things might be psychological and social or emotional. But you know what? It is also very spiritual. Because according to me and my understanding is the devil actually takes pleasure in such moments. The moment you're vulnerable is that moment where you are low, you are weak, you feel like self-sabotaging. He uses those moments to his best ability. Like atakuja akuconvince venye enyewe you are down. What makes you think you can actually hack? What makes you think you can show up on that billboard? What makes you think you're the best chef, you're the best accountant? Who told you can even become a pilot? Or is a pilot squeezy? Who told you that podcast is going to go anywhere? Kaa hapo, and the devil is the best at that. You know, people don't understand that he is the prince of the world. He is the ruler of the world. And that's why he has all the rights and audacity kukuja kwa life yetu venye anajisikia. The moment you are low hivi kidogo, he wants to come and just tempt you and show you, and you're over here just believing in God and hoping that things will be fine. You know, just that having that sense of hope irritates him because it's God who grants us this hope, this life, this iyo kukuwa na will for another day. It's the Lord who grants us. So the fact that he sees you even have that hope of maybe kesho vitu zitakuwa poa is like hapana. I cannot allow this human being to think tomorrow is going to be greater. I need to show them that they are nothing. Then unaingia mpesa yako unaona 0.70. Kai, uko hoi. Enyewe sasa hata juu nasema niko na hope. Saa kesho nitakula nini? Kesho nafaa kuenda job, sina hata fare. So what am I supposed to do? And you start allowing those thoughts. But in real sense, in as much as yes, they are psychological, they are very spiritual, the devil sends his demons to the world, to the people. Go and finesse, go kill, go steal, go destroy. That's his work. He'll come and steal your dream by having you procrastinate for the next 20 years. And now you're 70 years old and you can't perform the task that you were supposed to do when you were 30. He will come and destroy by killing your self-esteem, your confidence, your risk-taking abilities, and just show you that you can't do it. You are weak and you can't get there. You're not going anywhere. And so he will destroy and he will kill. He will kill your morale, your motivation, your drive to want to do anything. And that's his work. So all these things, easy feelings, what is a stress? We end up thinking that they are just stress because they are stress. But those are demons working in you, bana. You need to cast them out. You need to bind them in the name of Jesus. Like unazirusha huko nje and just say, you know what, I do not get a portion of this stress. I do not get a portion of procrastination, of uncertainty, of self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, lack of motivation, and all those things that the devil wants to put on me. Mr. of vitu, you know? And it's normal to doubt yourself, by the way. I'm not saying that when you start doubting yourself, you're so terrible, you're a bad person. No. It's normal because it shows you even the person who actually really makes me see uncertainty in a very huge aspect or lens is Moses, you know. Moses was the most stubborn person I've ever read in the Bible. Okay, according to me. Maybe I'm exaggerating. You never know. Anyway, so Moses was the cowboy who was put in the river Vizuri. And God was certain about his purpose. He knew from when he was born that utazaliwa wakati vijana wanauliwa and you will not be killed. In fact, you will be taken to the palace. You will grow in the palace. And do you know what? I'm also certain that the mother who gave birth to you is the one who is going to be breastfeeding you. He knew all these things about God, just like he knows our lives right now and even in our future and in our past. And then Moses grows up and he's out here being called by God, like, hey Moses, I want to send you to go and take the Israelites and take them back to Canaan from Egypt, and I will help you through. Usijali, me I got you. Mi niko na wewe. Unajua, he's like, me I can't even be able. Why are you sending me though? It's like, no, because I want to send you, because you're the person who is perfect for this job. But then Moses is just like, yeah, Z. It can't be me. First of all, I even stammer. So how do you even expect me to go there and I'm stammering? And then God is like, okay, if stammering is the issue, so you have your brother Aaron. I will use him as your spokesperson. He'll be able to speak to the people of Israel. Wewe utakuwa hapo kuperform miracles. Kuperform miracles tena aje? I don't even get it. How am I even able to perform miracles and I can't even? Like, I'll help you. You see that stuff that's down there? Ebu hit it down, it will turn into a snake. And he does that and it's like, oof, okay, he'll turn into a snake. But God, uko sure ni mimi kusema ukweli? Like, yes, it's... Kwani how many times do you want me to tell you? It's you that I want to send. Nilikuwa najua ni wewe nitatuma anyway. It's like you're refusing the inevitable. So he's like, hapana, mi siko sure. Uko sure nitaweza kuperform hizi miracles? In fact, fanya hivi, take your hand and put it on your bosom and see whether you will not tokea boils on your hands. And ametokea this painful boils on him, and he's like, and when he removed his hand, he was clear and clean. And God is like, are you still going to doubt me? Moses ako like, sawa tu juu sasa unadai kunituma mi. To just be honest, I don't feel like going, but just sioni kama I'm the right person. Like, kuna wasi wengine wengi, so ungewatuma, mimi mbona unanituma na mimi niko na mashida zangu. You know, that's what he was feeling. And it was still a struggle through and through, because after alitoa watu Egypt wakienda to cross the Red Sea, and when they crossed, Moses was just stubborn. Alikuwa too stubborn. Mahali wangeenda hata in 11 days kufika, they took 40 years kwa sababu Moses askii, and the Israelites also were not listening. So can you imagine? It gets to a point where when Moses is dying, God shows him the land yenye angeenda. Like, kule ndio nilikuwa na kupromise, but you won't even get there because you don't even have faith and trust in me. And I feel like that's what God does to us sometimes. Ako zile za basi juu you want to really take control over your life and be able to have everything in place and perfect the way you want to do them, then take it away, wewenda. Endo upotele uko peke yako. And it is so sad because we lose the purpose, we lose the destiny, we lose all the great things that God has set for us because we were uncertain. We refused to give him that extra, tiny hope that we are going to manage and do it with him being with us. Like, he keeps telling us, even if you walk through the valley of the shadow of darkness, bro, I got you. Niko na wewe, I'm working with you. But then, yani kafaith kitu ni kadogo hadi, it's so hard to believe in that small faith that for sure I can do this. And even when I think about like Peter when he was walking on water, can you imagine how many of you, and I want you to ask yourself this question in a personal level, how many of you would walk on water actually and be comfortable, like uone Yesu ndio ule pale na utembee juu ya maji, ubelieve hauta sink ndani? How many of you have that kind of faith? So all these things are so supernatural, and they are coming from the spiritual realm when they come to manifest in the reality. And not many people even tell us these things. You just told you're stressed, unaenda unapatiwa dawa za stress. When you take them for like 30 days, a whole month, and that's it. And before you know it, you are on these meds for the rest of your life. But these are things you could and can untangle yourself if you bring yourself back to the source. And this is my understanding, right? So when God was creating the world, he created sea animals. When he was creating the sea animals, he was speaking to the sea, you know? He spoke to the sea, may it bring forth all the animals of the sea. He spoke to the land and it brought forth all the animals of the land. But when he was creating us, I can see you know where I'm going with this. I can see you, see me, see you. Yes. When he was creating us, he spoke to himself. He spoke to himself. Like he spoke to within himself, with himself. Yani alijiongelesha akasema, nataka tutengeneze mtu anatukaa sisi. In the image and likeness of God. And so when you know where your source is from, you know where the problems can be sorted from, you know? So you're out here trying to find solutions to things that only the source can tell you where the problem is. Because you're the creation. He's the creator. If you create a code to run something or a certain function, if that function is not performing, only you who is the coder can understand where will the problem be. What did you add or what didn't you add that is causing the function not to run properly? That's the same thing. You want to learn or understand yourself. You want to know yourself. You want to know why do you have all these negative habits that come to your life, but you are interacting with the wrong sources. So you're out here in the world looking for answers from people, from sorcerers, witches, and all these other people, thinking, or even in money, in the idolization of the things that we have from our phones, Google, Nini, how to stop, how to not. And you forget all those things that you are looking for are what the creation has created, not the creator has created. So that ako like everything in this world that you want, I shall give it to you. But you know, all you gotta do is ask. But shida yetu ni when you go to pray, you're just like, God, I pray that I may stop this procrastination. It's really pulling me behind. Nini. Those are just words for you. Nika una ramble tu umalize useme amen, done. You have to believe in the words that you're saying. Like our words are so powerful. Words are what God used to create. Like God was just speaking and a creation happens. He spoke and another creation happened. Same thing. The words we speak to ourselves, to our minds, within ourselves, make us what we become. Just like God, He spoke and it became. So the same, we speak to our minds, to ourselves, and we become. So do not be afraid of believing in good things, in good words for yourself. And even when you're praying, believe. Unaona venye unakuanga unika umeaminia kesho lazima uamke. Even when it's not a must. You have to have that kind of faith in everything you say. When you say, God, I thank you for the gift of life, and I know that this day I shall come back with fruits of my labor. If you believe you will come back with fruits of your labor, imagine you will not come back without. And you know, it's so beautiful when you just see it from that angle, because hatujaifunzwa about God in this kind of way. We are always just taught on how He is the corrector. You need to do things the right way or else you're going to hell. And God is so loving. Like His spirit is so warm, is so calm, is so within us. Anataka tufanye vitu the right way. Na ukienda tu mwongeleshe tu, have a normal conversation, make Him a part of your routine, a part of your life, then everything else starts to make sense. You realize all that self-sabotage was the devil trying to put you down. Now you're afraid because of what? I got you. I'm the Alpha, the Omega. What are you trying to tell me about? You know, we make God wonder, by the way. And anyway, I didn't even believe that I could actually get this far, especially with the first episode. But that's what uncertainty looks for me, because we are greater than what we think we are. We are supernaturals. We are superpowered. God has His spirit in our lives. And that's why we're able to have a hope for tomorrow and a future for a better day. Let's share in the comment sections. Let's share in our DMs. I would love, 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 love to interact with y'all in this journey. And Kama, you're facing that, please holla at your girl. As I said, I would love to speak to as many people and transform as many lives as possible from the time I am actually here on earth. So thank you so much for giving me your ears until the end of this podcast. I'm so grateful. I love you all so much. I can't believe I feel like crying because I can't believe I did the first podcast. It's so emotional because it's something I'd been dying to want to do, but then I still had so many things holding me back from doing it. So I'm super, super grateful. And thank you for giving me your ears. Until next time, I will say bye bye. Stay humble, stay focused, and stay blessed.